Let me ask you a little bit about the business side.
Yeah.
I think that you're taking a different approach than other location-based services, and the obvious business model, right, is with local businesses driving foot traffic to their business and getting paid for that in some way. So far, we've seen this kind of daily deal model, and you're partnered with a lot of the daily deal folks and a lot of other folks as well. But how do you sort of look at sort of the ultimate monetization from a platform point of view, as opposed to maybe what we're seeing, like the daily deal companies, which take the direct, cut of the
I think the daily deal companies are like version 1.0 of great things that you can build with the internet that help local merchants drive foot traffic into the door, right? And so I think what we're doing with Foursquare is kind of like version 2 of that, or maybe version 3, and depending how far along we get, like I think the stuff that we're kind of pursuing is the future of that. But we've heard all these interesting tales of Groupon driving lots of customers, but there's always a question of like whether they're repeat customers. And so we look at the stuff that we're really good at with Foursquare, and we're really good at loyalty. Like we're really good at, on 5 check-ins you get this, if you're the mayor, you get something special. Like that's been our whole thing for a while. And now we're also starting to realize that we're getting very good at pushing people towards new experiences with Explore and Radar. So I think we can play in both of those spaces at the same time.
And how are you doing with those partnerships in terms of driving loyalty? And how would you compare sort of the incentives you give to people to try out these deals because they're nearby or their friends have done it versus maybe like, Groupon is trying Groupon Rewards where it's a different approach to loyalty where they're basically giving, a super incentive to come back.
Yeah, wait, what's it?
So Groupon Rewards, right, is they're trying to sign up local merchants so that if you come back or come back and spend a certain amount, you'll get, like, spend $100 and you'll get 80% off.
Yeah, so they're trying to go into the loyalty thing as well.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, we're both playing in the same space. I think the best thing about Groupon and Living Social and that whole crop of companies is that they've like taught an army of local merchants about, hey, there's better tools besides the Yellow Pages and like the Alt Weekly that happens to be in your town. And we're going to be able to piggyback on top of some of that success. Like when we reach out to merchants, it's like, it's kind of like Groupon, except it's, we do it a different way because it's Foursquare, it's based off of check-ins, it's based off of loyalties, like we have this Explore engine. And so it's a slightly different pitch.
But when I talk to those guys, they have data, right, based on their partnerships with you guys, they complain that the sort of redemption loop isn't as tight as they'd like it to be, right? And that merchants don't know how to value a check-in, say, versus valuing an actual, coupon that somebody bought.
Yeah. It's
a Salesforce-driven culture versus, different type of culture, but it is a valid criticism.
I think the real big opportunity for us is like not looking at it like an individual check-in basis, but it's looking at the aggregate check-ins. So you take a random, coffee shop in New York, and you can split those. You can split all those check-ins into, or all those users into, people that come here every day, they're your most loyal customers. That people that come here, but they don't come here anymore because they found someplace else to go, so those are people you could try to win back. People that are coffee drinkers that circulate that area because they've checked in at all these different places, they've just never tried your place before, right? And you can, identify 6 or 8 of those different buckets that are all different opportunities for merchants to reach out to different customer segments in different ways.
But ultimately, you need to be able to measure which of those customers actually buy things, and what you're doing with your Amex deal, right?
I see what you're saying. It's like just because they checked in didn't mean that they bought something, right?
Right. So the more deals that you could get data in terms of, and I don't know whether you even get data from Amex about whether they actually bought it.
Yeah, we've been thinking about different ways that we get it involved in in the payment process as well. Like what Amex is doing, right? What we're doing with Amex, where you can say, I want to add this deal to my card, and then you basically unlock the special by swiping, is like a really good example. And there's different ways that we can replicate that with different card companies or different payment gateways as well. So that's something that we're really looking into.
Do they give you the payment data, whether somebody paid or not? Or
no, because you can get was there a transaction, yes or no? And that's something that we'd be able to work with the credit card companies on.
Right.
We don't specifically get what they bought, but as a very first step, just the fact that they were able to transact there is something that's really valuable.
It's basically a lot of experiments, and you're trying to figure out what works.
Yeah, like we know that we're going to be very good at helping merchants identify their best customers and building the tools that help like drive new customers into the business and also reach out and get those customers coming back on a regular basis. Like we're seeing that with Explore, we're going to see that with Radar. It's just like we have a really good opportunity there. It's just we have to kind of put the rest of the pieces together to get those pieces out to merchants.
Is there a monetization part of Explore where people maybe might be able to do paid recommendations?
Yeah, we haven't done that yet. Like we're kind of just focused on getting the end user product right. Like that might be something that we do like way off in the future. Right. But right for now, it's like let's get the Explore results just right. Let's get the Radar results just right, and then we can figure out a way to get the merchants playing in that ecosystem too.
Terrific. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.